This episode is brought to you by Audi. The road is calling. Embrace the thrill of the drive with the all-new, fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron. Featuring effortless power, serious acceleration, and advanced Audi tech. It's not just a new EV. It's a new way to experience driving. The all-new, fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron is here. The next chapter of Audi starts now.
This is More Money with economist Steve Moore. Now, Steve Moore.
Welcome back, folks. This is the More Money Show. I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday afternoon. I hope you're also getting our More Money hotline. To get that, just go to unleashprosperity.com and pick it up for free. It's a daily email that will provide you with just 5 or 6 bullet items each month with sometimes a photo or sometimes a graph that explains economics. You should get it for yourself. You should make sure your kids are getting it so they can understand how the economy works, how business works, and how we can make America a more prosperous place. Just go to unleashprosperity.com and join the 100,000 people every morning who read the hotline. My next guest is a colleague of mine, Wendell Cox. Wendell is one of the top demographers and transportation experts in the country. And I wanted him to come on because those of you who are in New York City, where our flagship is, WABC, but I know we have listeners around the country, are dealing with this commuter tax issue. And first of all, Wendell, thanks so much for joining.
A pleasure.
So are you following this issue, Wendell, at all about this commuter tax in New York? And I'm kind of two minds of it. I mean, as an economist, I kind of like the idea of congestion taxes to reduce congestion. On the other hand, taxes are so high in New York already. What is your take on this issue?
Well, this has been an issue that has been argued around the world: London, Paris, Stockholm, and of course New York. In New York, and of course the congestion charge zone in New York is limited to, I believe, below 59th Street. So it's not even a majority of the city of New York. And you think about New York, think about how much the toll is to come in on the Holland Tunnel or the GW Bridge.
Right. I know.
I mean, already people who live in the New York area are paying unbelievable toll rates.
Right.
And my sense is, quite frankly, Manhattan has great challenges at the moment, especially because of the fact that many more people are working from home, and that's working out quite well. And in the long run, this is liable, I think, and it can be the other way, but this is liable, I think, to work against New York's primacy as the business center of the United States.
Wait, say that again. You mean, in other words, because people are working at home?
Many New Yorkers, many who used to work 5 days a week in New York City,
right,
in Manhattan, are now working at home. And you see a lot of this. There seems to be a good bit of anecdotal evidence to suggest that people, say, in Fairfield County, Connecticut,
I see.
Now come into Grand Central 2 times or 3 times a week rather than 5 times a week. So,
yes.
So I think they need to be cautious.
So is that going to hurt New York City or help it?
Well, what it'll do, it will lead to the further suburbanization of New York City.
I see.
Right now, New York City has a population of about 8.5 million, which is well less than half the 20 million in the metropolitan area. New York has dispersed to become the largest urban area in the world. And by that, I mean the largest continuously built up urban area in the world in terms of land area.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
I can say to my new Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, hey, find a keto-friendly restaurant nearby and text it to Beth and Steve. And it does without me lifting a finger. So I can get in more squats anywhere I can. 1, 2, 3.
Will that be cash or credit?
Credit. 4.
Galaxy S25 Ultra, the AI companion that does the heavy lifting so you can do you. Get yours at Samsung.com. Compatible with select apps. Requires Google Gemini account. Results may vary based on input. Check responses for accuracy.
Uh-oh. The last cookie.
You can get a new box of cookies in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Are you my guilty self-conscience?
No, I'm the voice offering you promo code EXPRESS for free delivery on your first order.
Hey, who ate my cookies?
You mean, these cookies?
Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Promotion valid for first express delivery order. $50 minimum subject to availability. Restrictions apply.
I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
So Wendell, if you were named the mayor of New York City, and I'm terrified, I'm so terrified that Andrew Cuomo, who killed people during COVID with his outrageous policies, if you were advising him, though, if he were to become mayor, what do you think needs to be done from a transportation perspective? Because look, I go to New York City, Manhattan, once a week or once every 2 weeks, and I'm sitting in traffic just to get from LaGuardia Airport into the city, and then to maybe 6th Avenue. It takes me over an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's because too many people live in too small an area. It has to
right.
do with has to do with population density, and there really isn't an answer. I mean, yeah, you can improve traffic. I mean, the London congestion charge, which I was the morning it was implemented, I was in the Daily Telegraph opposing it. But I've got to say the things turned out pretty well. But the London congestion charge, for example, covers only a very small area of central London. The Stockholm, similar. And so there isn't an easy answer. And for example, everybody seems to think that transit's the answer. Not the answer at all. You cannot get anywhere. You cannot get across New York by transit anywhere near as fast as you can by car, and that's the truth. Any major metropolitan area of the United States, and that's an issue that is missed by transit and urban planners all over.
So let's talk about mass transit, because this is not just a New York issue. It's really an issue for every big city in America. And everybody wants to build these transit lines, and they want to build light rail, and they want to do this, that, the other thing. And yet your statistics are showing that fewer and fewer people are riding these trains.
Well, not only that. I mean, listen, I was on the L.A. County Transportation Commission, and in 1980, we put a ballot issue on it to raise money to build a subway system. And I was there, and I voted for it a long time ago. I've changed my views since then. But in any event, what has happened in Los Angeles in 1985, which is the year that I left the commission, we hit our all-time record in ridership, which was almost 500 million annual riders. Today, and that was only with buses. Today, after now 40 years, almost 35, 40 years of light rail and subway, the ridership is down to about 375, and that's before the pandemic.
Wow.
So the point is, everybody seems to assume that transit is an alternative. And granted, New York City is very special. There is nothing like New York City in the country, not even Chicago or San Francisco. Transit is very important in the city of New York. Nonetheless, you can't get anywhere near as many jobs by transit in New York as you can by car. You go across the rest of the country, it is unbelievable what has happened.
You were showing me some of these statistics, Wendell. Sorry to interrupt, but you showed me that in many of these cities, transit ridership just since the end of COVID, from the time before COVID till today, some cities 30, 40, 50% reduction in riders.
That's exactly right, and no one should presume that transit is an alternative to the automobile. Transit is an alternative to the automobile only in one place, and that's to the biggest downtowns. And I don't mean Denver, and I don't mean Portland, but I mean New York, Boston, Washington, Philadelphia, and Chicago.
Right.
And that's unfortunately the problem. So that when you go and look at the big business centers that have built up around the country in the last few decades, places like in Houston, in Dallas, Century City in Los Angeles, etc., these places have very little transit ridership, and they never will have much transit ridership.
So why do we keep hearing, every time we talk about transportation issues in Washington or in big cities, all they want to do is build more rail lines and have more buses. And, incidentally, we're moving towards, in California, they already have driverless cars on the streets. I think people on the East Coast aren't aware of that. That, it seems to me, that will totally change how we get from point A to point B. If you could have a driverless Uber car just at your door, taking you when you want to get there for $5, it's much more efficient than transit. It seems like that would be a big deal in terms of solving some of our commuter problems.
Yeah, indeed. And the nice thing about it is government has little to do with that.
Exactly.
Because the private market makes it happen, just like outside Washington, working at home has been such a success where people actually were required to work when they work at home. But the reason that there is this great affection for rail is, first of all, look at the evening reports on the news where they're done. We always, around this country, which has 350 million people almost at this point, we're all shown pictures of New York. I should well 59th Street, where about 2 million people live. Now, you know what, New York.
So, Wendell, we have 2 minutes left, and I want to just get your you wrote a really great analysis of the new census data, and just in 90 seconds, can you just summarize the cities that are growing and the cities that are not growing, and what are we to deduce from this?
Sure. The headline is that the growth continues to be metropolitan in the decade 2020 to 2024.
You know what, Wendell? We probably have to. We're losing you, and I'll have to get you back on next week because I think I know some of the answers to the question because you and I have talked about this. It looks to me from your analysis that the Southeast is really the area where you're seeing so much growth, and that the Northeast is where the cities are in decline. I wonder why. I think it's lower taxes and less regulation. But Wendell Cox, thanks for joining. We'll get you back next week when we can hear you better. This is the More Money Show on WABC.
Owning a boat comes with a number of perks, like being able to say ahoy or land ho and not feel weird about it. So here's another perk. Geico's boat insurance offers access to the largest towing fleet on the water. And with specialist support from agents that are as passionate about boating as you are, there's so much value that you'll want to say, shiver me timbers, and not feel weird about that either. Get more with Geico.